Hi, my name is Ishan and I was a GATE 2025 CS aspirant. I was able to get an All India rank of 1445 and a GATE score of 688. As someone who was from the general category, this result was very disappointing because I knew for a fact that this won't get me a good IIT and this won't get me the program that I want. So I was disappointed. But again, I had taken a drop for this attempt and I was in no mood to take another drop. So I did not give in to the sadness and I made up my mind that अगर admission लेना है तो इसी साल लेना है and इसी score पर लेना है. Thus began my post-gate journey. I started researching about the various opportunities that were out there and how could I use my gate score in the best way possible. And by the end of this journey, I was able to get offers from IIT Delhi, IIT Hyderabad, IIT Indore, and the college that I am in right now, IIT Bombay. So I had documented this entire journey into with the help of two LinkedIn posts last year, and since then I've been getting a lot of queries about what was asked in the interviews. If you're someone who is preparing for the interviews, how should you prepare for it? And as much as I love answering all these questions, it kind of becomes overwhelming for me sometimes because again, I've been getting a lot of queries and it's not physically possible for me to answer each and every one of them, but I want to. So here I am making this video, and I hope by the end of this video, if you are someone in the same situation or trying to crack these post-gate IIT interviews, uh, I hope this video helps and you are less confused and you have a clear direction and to think in and more clarity about your situation. So yeah, let's start. So if you are someone who has a gate score between 650 to 700, welcome to the confused state. I was in this situation last year and honestly, it is a terrible situation to be in because you're so confused all the time. So here are three pieces of advice that I would like to give you. The first piece of advice is that stop panicking and stop doubting yourself. Believe in yourself because your mental strength is very important at this stage of this your preparation. So मत सोचो कि admission होगा नहीं होगा. The more you think about it, the more stressed you will feel, and again, the more stressed you feel, the less focus you have, which is bad. So don't do that. The next piece of advice is that know yourself better. You need to ask yourself, why do you want to do MTech in the first place, and what are your research interests. For example, I was someone who was not at all interested in the software development side, and in fact the main motivation behind giving GATE and pursuing higher education was to explore the fields of AI and ML from a good institution. So, if you're someone like me who wants to explore the fields of AI and ML or data science or analytics, uh, even though MTech CSE is the most popular and most coveted option, it is not the only option. There are a lot of programs across various IITs that would let you explore the fields of AI and ML and let you have a career in these fields at the same time. So you need to identify these courses. What I did last year was I compiled an entire sheet of all the programs that I could find. I would be giving the link to that sheet in the description. So you can have a look at it and you can identify some courses or maybe make a new list altogether according customized to your research interest or your interests that you want to pursue. The next advice is to reach out to people. So this is very important because it helps you reduce your confusion and helps you in getting a better clarity about the various courses that you're applying to. So I want you to approach all the students that you can find on LinkedIn, YouTube, or some other social platform, and ask them about what are the expectations from student, what is the course curriculum like, what is the placement scenario, and some other things that you would like to know about the course, because you're going to spend 2 or 3 years of your life doing this degree, and before you choose this degree you must have a good understanding of what you're getting into. It is very important. Moving on, let's discuss what to study. So, this is the most frequently asked question that I get in my LinkedIn DMs, and I would try to be as detailed as possible. The first thing that I want you to do is start revising your GATE syllabus. A lot of these programs which have interview based entry have a screening test before, and the questions that come in this test are from your GATE syllabus. A good news is that they are on the easier side of GATE questions. So if you are solving GATE PYQs and revising GATE concepts, you're already putting yourself in a strong position to solve these questions. Now, if you're someone who is trying to get into an AI/ML program, basic foundations of ML is also required. You will be asked questions about what are basic algorithms like regression, what is clustering, etc., etc. One thing that I would like to highlight here is that last year I was asked about this algorithm called stochastic gradient descent in almost all the interviews that I gave. So that is all about ML that you need to study. Talking from the point of interviews, three subjects are very important. They are linear algebra, probability, and DSA. So, if you are someone who gave GATE CSE, you have these three subjects already in your GATE CSE syllabus. I want you to give strong emphasis on these three subjects while you're revising your GATE syllabus, because not only they are important for your written test, they are also important for the interviews later. So giving strong emphasis on these three subjects, especially linear algebra, is very important. Apart from all this, I also want you to reach out to people who have either cleared these interviews or have given these interviews. Ask them questions like what was their overall experience, what kind of questions were being asked, what was the difficulty of the question, did they observe any specific pattern in the types of question that were being asked, etc., etc. All this is very important because you are becoming more aware, and the more aware you are, the better decision you would take. A good place to find these people would be the Gate Overflow website. Gate Overflow has a good collection of blogs from different people who have given various interviews over the years. You can start contacting them. Another place would be LinkedIn and Reddit, or some other social platform that you know about. Do your research, it is very important. A link to all my blogs is also pinned in the description. You can have a look at them. I have talked about the study material that I referred to while preparing for that specific interview, and what helped me, so that could be really helpful for you as well. The next thing that I would like to highlight are some interview tips. These are observations that I made last year, and you could learn from my experience. The very first step is to be confident. Your confidence is key. Even though you know a lot about a certain subject or a concept, if you're not answering the question that is being asked in the interview confidently, the professors, they will think that you lack knowledge, and it is bad. At the same time, if you don't know something, don't try to be over smart and try to fool the professor. These are professors from IITs, and fooling them is not possible. So don't do that. If you don't know something, be clear. The professors are not looking for someone who knows everything. They are actually looking for someone who they can guide. Which brings me to the most important interview tip. When you're solving a problem that is being asked in the interview, be vocal and explain the entire chain of thought that is going on in your mind. As I said, the professors are not looking for someone perfect. They are looking for someone they can guide and mold. So they are actually trying to test your problem solving skills, or the approach that you take while solving a particular problem. And this is what they are testing. So be vocal, explain each and everything that is going on through your mind. This is something that helped me a lot, and honestly, I did not know about this trick or tip, you could say, in the very first interview that I gave. And I reflected and I found out that this is something that I should do. And from that point onwards, I started doing, I started explaining each and every step that I was uh, taking to solve a particular question which was asked in the interview, and it helped me crack a lot of interviews. So yeah, this is a super useful tip, and you should keep this in mind while you are giving interviews. So that brings us to the end of this video. I really hope that I was able to solve a lot of doubts, answer a lot of questions, and reduce your confusion. Still, if you have some questions, you could comment below. I would try answering them. You could also reach out to me on LinkedIn. As I said at the starting of this video, as much as I love answering all these questions, it is not physically possible for me. So I would try my best. And the final takeaway that I want you to take from this video is that be confident, don't doubt yourself, and trust in the process. All the best.